This one, how exactly does one prepare for a personal interview question? We've already, suppose we know what kind of questions you need to prepare for. I keep hearing that for personal interview, you need to prepare for in a slightly different way. How exactly does one do that? Well, I'm going to do this with a couple of examples. And so, suppose you're thinking about current affairs and you're saying, look, I'm working I've read a lot about the Rafale deal, the helicopter deal that we're talking about, and maybe that's a topic that's going to be discussed. Fine. So how do you learn about this? How do you read about this? Fine. So have a method to preparing. Focus the first round on facts, a lot of them, and get all the details right. What is this deal about? How many copters were purchased? When did the deal first start off? What are the other copters that we had? Are these machines really reliable? When will they be delivered? What is the timeline on this? Who started negotiations? Who's completed it? When did it get over? The facts. These are not contestable. You should stay on top of them. Very often I find students jumping into an opinion without knowing the fact. And so I don't know all the facts on this deal because I've not done the research, but you should. This kind of current stuff, you should know all the details about. Then go and read about possible comparisons. So what is you don't need to have a very strong opinion. You don't need to say, oh, this is a corrupt deal or the government has done all the right things. You don't need to, but it is all right if you sway one way or the other. It is all right. You can have an opinion. It's not a crime to have an opinion. And so don't sit on the fence and hold on to it completely. You can say, look, all said and done, it seems like this is an above board deal, such as life. These complexities are there in a defense contract. Or you can say, oh, having taken everything into board, there seems something funny here. I'm not really convinced about what I'm hearing from our government people. Both are fine. And so you don't have to stay away from opinion, but you need to have a basis for that opinion. So after you have collected all the facts, then collect that opinion, collect the comparables, collect the other events that have happened. What are the other deals that would have led to this point? Then read the opinion pieces. So when you're collecting on any part, any thesis, recollect all the facts, then add opinion pieces, hear both sides and form your opinion. Don't go to an extreme, don't sit on the fence. So you have to ask a series of leading questions to acquire that kind of depth. Cover all the facts first, then hear to what one side has to say and the other side has to say. You have to be very clear on how is this deal different from Bofors? What is the basis of this? What is the meaning of the term offset? Why are we even talking about this? When was Pipavav shipyard bought? What do they do? Why have they been bought? Is it buying that company good enough to talk about helicopters? So you need to have all this information on that one issue. So go and find that depth. Right? The other topic that is going to come up or likely to come up when you're doing your interviews is the elections. In 2019, you're going to have a set of elections. Right? All of us hear about this. We all talk about this. This is a flavor of the next 6 months. We know that. Right? So, but the things that you need to know is a gigantic civics lesson before you jump into this. How many constituencies are there? How are the constituencies distributed? What has happened in elections so far? When did coalitions come into India in the first place? What are the alliances called as? What is the current seats that these parties are holding on? What is Lok Sabha? What is Rajya Sabha? What is the tenure for Lok Sabha? What is the tenure for Rajya Sabha? Why is one? What are the different ways in which elections are conducted? Why is it conducted in phases? All of those you need to know before you jump in and say, oh, this is the best government that we are going to have. We will put those other party in place and all that. So don't jump onto the bandwagon. Don't jump into an extreme left wing or right wing view to showcase your ideology or how strongly and passionately you feel about something. Get all the facts right. Election, especially from the point of view of an interview, is 90% civics, 8% deeper understanding and 2% opinion or where you stand. Nobody in the interview panel is going to say, who are you going to vote for? Justify that. You're going to shoot the breeze. And so know both sides, but before you do that, learn all your facts. You need to have a kind of a tree structure when you're building on a topic. Suppose you're a volleyball player. How would you say, look, I'm interested in playing volleyball. When is the World Championships conducted? Who are the current champions? Is it part of the Olympics? Is it part of the Asian Games? What are the height of the net, weight of the ball, dimension of the court? You need to keep adding question after question after question and acquire depth in terms of both facts and insight on whatever topic you're going to venture out into. And if it's current affairs, you need to stream out a lot and acquire that depth. So don't grab a headline of Times of India and say, look, I know everything about this fact. You need to go deeper and deeper into each idea. And I've had students who have filled out notebooks with questions for which they know the idea. After you've picked up all this information comes the round of practice of saying out an answer and getting used to your answer, seeing the recording and analyzing that, all of that. But you've got to pick up the depth first. Everything, you need to have a layer of facts, then insight, then finally opinion. Don't start with opinion and then go down to facts. Fine. So pick up interview preparation for specific questions is all about depth. So prepare with that kind of objective in mind.